Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Okay, What's on Tap podcast. Back once again. Another week.
Back in black.
Another set of beers. True.
Is this show about beers?
This show is about beers.
I thought this was relational humor.
No, actually, originally it was a show about beards.
Oh.
And then the different meanings and entendres of beards.
Right.
You know? So it's like styles and then lifestyle choices as well. So, but no, now we've just decided to go straight beers.
Yeah.
And no more beard talk. Even though we both have gorgeous beards.
Mine is quite scruffy.
Well, it's nice. It's like what's it called? The Kawaka or whatever that little...
The Kawaka.
Is that what it's called?
The happy animal.
The happy animal.
Selfies.
It gives you that look.
So we brought one beer each to this little mini tasting.
We did.
And I love the artwork of the one you brought.
Thank you. This is from Salvador. It is from Brazil. It is called River. And it says Salvador Presents River. And they have another version that says Salvador Presents Raid. So the two cans are River Raid. We only have the River today. And this is a double New England IPA. It comes at 7.8% ABV. And the artwork on the can is the old Atari 2600 River Raid art. So it was this 8-bit, or actually not even 8-bit, it's 4-bit pixels look. And it looks just like it came from the video game itself. Yeah. It is so much fun. When I saw this artwork, I was like, I got to buy this. Is it good? Is it bad? Who cares? It looks like River Raid from the old Atari 2600 days. So I was very excited about that. And I wish I could tell you more about the beer, but it's there's really nothing else on here other than they're from Brazil. That's about it.
New England Double IPA.
New England Double IPA. And this looks and smells like a New England Double IPA. Kind of fruity tropical on the nose. We get...
Do we know anything about the hops? It didn't say on the can, right?
No, I think it was Strata and Citra maybe. From what you showed me earlier.
Oh.
But I'm not 100% sure. What's always interesting is we get...
Citra and Strata.
Okay. Well, it's always interesting is we get these beers from Brazil, and I don't know why we get these influxes like every few months. We'll get like a bunch of different beers from Brazil, and everyone's very excited about them. And I'm always curious because they have really high ratings. Like I think someone gets a 4.22 on tap. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it also makes me question: is this a big fish in a small pond situation? Where maybe because it's from Brazil and they don't have like a real diverse beer scene there, that if something comes along and it gets really highly rated, it's only because they don't have a lot of other things to judge it against.
Maybe.
But once it gets out into the international market, maybe it doesn't do as well because we've had other double IPAs from highly regarded breweries.
Yeah, but it smells. Like,
I'm not saying that's going to be the case here, but I'm always curious, like if these things, if they just do really well in their home market, but once they get out amongst other breweries, it's like, well, they're not as good as the home market things.
Yeah, I think most, if not all, breweries suffer from homerism, where everyone, and I'm a homer for certain Swedish breweries certain Malmö breweries, where I give them a higher than average rating.
Yeah, I can think of at least 3 off the top of my head that I'm just like, because it's from that brewery, I'm gonna nudge it up to like 0.25 to 0.5% better than it probably actually is.
But it's not necessarily a super bias. It's like giving it the benefit of the doubt, searching a little bit extra for those flavor profiles. Like you go, well, it does have this extra thing that I actually like. Let's give it a higher rating instead of going, meh.
Yeah.
So it might just be so a Danish beer will get distribution to its neighbor countries way faster, meaning that the homerism it's just in the very, very early days. And then boom, it's everywhere, and people start rating it without the regional bias.
Yeah.
But the Brazilian market, they might have super great beers, but they still have the Homerism mentality, giving it a little bit higher rating, and it just takes longer for it to reach, for example, our European market.
Yeah, and I don't know what distribution throughout Brazil is like, or even South America. Maybe Salvador has a very wide distribution throughout South America. I mean, Brazil is although there's a lot of non-populated areas, it's a very populous country. There's a ton of people that live there.
Yep.
It's got one of the largest cities in the world. In Sao Paulo, it's 25 million people live there. It's a huge city. So it's already 1.5 times the size of Sweden.
Exactly.
But I also think South America might have the same issue that like China has. Sure, China has a lot of breweries, but I mean, the top 3 selling beers and beer brands in China are all lagers, and they're all some sort of Budweiser-esque style brewery. So the small independent beer scene is really nascent there, still trying to find its foothold in a lot of ways. And I've been to Brazil and I've been to Argentina, but this was 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah. So I don't know how the beer scene has developed. Because when I was there really wasn't much of a beer scene. No. It was wine. That's where you go for really good wine. So yeah, let's try this out.
Yeah, enough talk. Yep. Let's drink.
That's pretty good, man. It's got some nice fruity notes. Finishes a little dry. I like the carbonation on this. It's very refreshing.
Yeah, I agree with refreshing, but I feel like for this first sip, the carbonation prevented me from really tasting the beer.
Okay.
I felt it was a little bit too fizzy.
You think it's a little overcarbonated?
No, maybe I just drank it wrong. But when you say fruity, like I didn't get that much fruit. I got carbonation.
Oh, I got a lot of fruitiness on the finish.
I'll swirl it around a little bit.
This beer is pretty carbonated. I'll give you that. I think the carbonation on this is pretty heavy, actually. But I think it's quite a fine beer.
Yeah, it definitely has. It definitely has the fruity notes that we're looking for in New England IPAs.
Mm-hmm. It's not as rich as a lot of, say, like U.S. double IPAs have been.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bit lighter in the mouthfeel. So I guess there's probably not as much like flaked oat or something like that to make it more kind of creamy. It's much more. It's a little thinner than that.
But to be fair, when I swirl it around, it produces a very nice, fine-grained, clear white foam.
Yeah, it's something you don't really see in IPAs anymore, is like a proper head on the beer.
Exactly.
And this one really, I mean, you can just agitate this a little bit and it just foams right up. Really nice. Some good lacing on the glass. It's a beautiful beer overall. And I think the flavor is quite nice. It's again very, very drinkable for 7.8%.
I was just going to ask, did you say how strong it was? You probably did, but I was mesmerized by the Atari graphics. It's too sweet.
I know you've been having that kind of problem with IPAs recently, or double IPAs recently.
Me specifically?
I think you and Pontus were both talking about how double IPAs are just kind of too sweet these days, and I don't find this one to be overly sweet or cloyingly sweet. I think it's just right there. It's just, I think because it finishes kind of dry, it gives a little bit of a bitterness to it, or a perceived bitterness to it, and it doesn't feel overly sweet on your lips and tongue and in the mouth afterwards.
Well spoken. It is a good beer. I think when I say sweet now, I mean like sweet honey melon.
Yeah.
In the flavor. It's a strong 4. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no, I am definitely going a strong 4 as well. It's one of those where, like 4.10 would probably be where I would actually give it, because it's a strong 4. It's definitely not a 4.25, but it's a little bit better. It's like a 4.15, 4.10, somewhere in that area. Yeah,
I get what you mean. So I could hear myself just complaining. Oh, it's too sweet. Oh, it's too carbonated. It's a good beer, but it's hyped up in my mind. That's why I'm focusing so much on this sweetness, because I do think that a lot of IPAs are too sweet nowadays.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I am a little over New England IPAs at this point. Yeah. They're kind of, I feel like we've tried a lot of them. We've tried some of the best ones out there. There's been some amazing double IPAs, hazy IPAs, whatever you want to call them. But I feel like we've really tried them all, and I'm not as impressed by them as I used to be. So when I get something from Monkish or Trillium or what's the other one?
Like Green Bench and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they're fine beers, but they're not working at the same level as they used to be. And quite frankly, you can kind of get the exact same thing from Danish or Swedish breweries now. And the extra cost to have that importing and the toll on the environment that's going to take, it's not really worth it for me like it used to be.
I agree. So speaking of an imported beer,
yes, another imported beer from halfway across the world.
Yes, I brought a can of Adroit Theory Evangelion 16 Armisael. It's a hazy triple IPA. Double dry hop with Mosaic, Citra, Moutere, and Sultana, and Simcoe.
Okay, all the hops.
It was actually canned 4 months ago.
Okay, well, we don't know what the ABV on this is, but I'm just from smelling it, I'm willing to guess.
It says here 10.
Oh, 10? I was going to say it's +9. I can tell.
Yeah,
I didn't see it. Where was it on the can? Oh, okay. I wasn't looking. I was looking at the
it's
side.
It's thin gray text towards black background.
Yes,
like silver against black. It's so Adroit Theory, they're from Virginia.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say my favorite thing about Adroit Theory is not the beers, but their packaging.
Yeah, artwork.
Their artwork is always their artwork. You look at it and go, I just want that can. It's like, is the beer any good? I don't care. The can art is just amazing. Like, whenever we get these cans, my daughter sees them and she's like, can I have that can afterwards? I'm like, I guess so. Because they're always like super, like almost overworked art. It's just so much detail and so much crazy. I wonder if they commission the drawings and then sell the art afterwards. Because I can see them selling the art for the cans and making quite a bit of money off of those.
Not impossible. So it actually says what we're supposed to pair this with.
Yes.
Duck carnitas tacos with radish escabeche.
Yes.
Have you prepared duck carnitas tacos with radish escabeche?
No, but I do have a story about duck. My local grocery store had 2 duck breasts for 99 crowns per kilo.
Oh.
So I bought 2 duck breasts for 77 crowns.
That's nice.
That's a really good price. They weren't frozen either. They were already thawed, so I didn't have to. I'm very excited about that.
So you could make duck carnitas tacos.
I could make duck carnitas tacos.
Good. Cheese, we're supposed to pair it with Fontina Val d'Aosta.
Sorry, I'm out of cheese at the moment. I need to buy cheese.
But this is the best part. The cigar.
They always have a cigar recommendation with these.
Saga Short Tails Tomove, the 6th element El Tabco.
Yep.
I hope you have that.
Well, that's actually, I just got a case of those in.
Oh,
so,
of course, good.
We'll be able to smoke those later.
This one doesn't.
This one has that.
It's not a lot of aroma.
For me, it has a vegetable-y kind of smell.
It's not. The river had a better smell.
Yeah. The river was much more fruity. This one's much more vegetable-y for me.
Let's see if it works out when we try it.
Cheers. See, for me, this one is sweet. This one's really sweet for me. Mm-hmm. If you thought river was sweet, This one is like sugar candy.
This one is it's sweeter, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe I just expected more with a triple IPA. They're usually sweeter.
Yeah, that's true. It's just sweet, and then it has this kind of bitter finish to it.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of booziness at the end, but at 10%, it's kind of to be expected. I just am. I mean, it's a beer. This one falls back into that. Yeah, no, it's a pretty good beer, but
it's raising my appreciation for River, because now I can try them side by side. River is the better of the two beers.
Oh, for sure. And this is my problem I've had with Adroit Theory's double and triple IPAs is they're what I would call the definition of adequate.
Yeah.
They're not going to be bad. They're never going to be horrible, but they're never going to be something that you're kind of like, holy shit, that was amazing. They're always going to be pleasant and serviceable and drinkable. And that's what this is. This is pleasant and serviceable and drinkable. And the can art's amazing, and I'll remember the can art much longer than I'll remember having the beer.
Yes. But now something really weird is starting to happen. Now I'm trying them. First the River, then Adroit. Now they're kind of bringing each other down.
They're two very different styles.
But now I'm starting to think like, oh, the River is totally faded. Maybe that's just because it's been in the glass and I swirled it around so much. I don't know. I won't change any rating for the River. Yeah. If that's still a strong 4, then the Adroit Theory is a really, really weak 4.
I'm even going to give it a 3.5 even.
Yeah.
Like I said, it just doesn't do anything for me. So as I mentioned the last time we had a bottle share, I've quit buying the Adroit Theory IPAs and double IPAs and everything. I've been buying their other styles, and so we've tried the Belgian Quad. Yep. I think I've tried some stouts from them. I have a double bock in my fridge from them that should be tried at some point. Because I just want to see what else they can do before I'm kind of like, I've had enough Adroit Theory. I don't need to buy anymore. Yep. I won't say no if someone's like, hey, you want to try this Adroit Theory? I'm like, sure, let's bring it on. Let's do this. But I don't think I'm going to buy any more of their beers.
No. For me, it'll depend on the price. If I get a good price for them,
what I'll probably do is I'll wait for them to drop in price because they put out so much stuff. I mean, I think even this week there was like 10 Adroit Theory beers that came out in the web shops, and I'm like, how can you put out that many double triple IPAs? I mean, it's basically just one recipe, and they just like, oh well, we just added a little more.
Oh, like
oats.
Like Apex.
Like Apex, yeah, Apex or what's the or Gamma or some of the other breweries. It's like
fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna give this one a 3.5, and you said a week 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you sure this isn't week 375?
Well, that makes it a strong 3.5, then, doesn't it?
Intriguing. You have tricked me in a loop of logic.
Yes. I use your own logic against you.
Oh,
Double
no.
back. Oh.
I'm rubber, you are glue.
Yes. And I also think that like this is part of my fatigue of New England IPAs and hazy IPAs. It's just that like I feel like I've had this beer several times. If it wasn't in the fancy label and I was just given it to me blind tasting, I would probably also still give it a 3.5. And I think the name and the label and the hype makes it want to up it a little bit. But if I'm being honest with myself and my enjoyability of this beer, it's like a 3.5.
I'm just janking your chain. Because we still have more in these glasses, I'll probably end up giving it a 375. But I just want to say, so I am rubber, you are glue. That has always been such a great children's comeback to to an insult. But what I've always thought was a bad one was, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. I mean, sticks and stones can break your bones and you'll heal, but words hurt a lot.
It's like words can scar you for life.
Exactly. Sticks and stones can temporarily hurt you and then you'll heal.
Yes.
I never liked that.
I think the point is that you shouldn't let words hurt you, and it
But
shows
they do.
the pettiness that belies the other person that's saying it.
But
and you should
words do
rise above
hurt.
it. They do hurt. So you can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com, Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
And wherever people say no to bullies.
Exactly.
Until next time.
Keep drinking, you dum-dums.
Yeah.